to the Board of Selectmen's meeting, January 8th, 2018. If I could ask you to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, folks, again for coming this evening. Under acknowledgements, we have birthdays. Augusta Howland from the library, Randy Nadeau from the fire department, Eric Solomonson from the recreation, and Sean Remick from the fire department. Unfortunately, on the other side, for deaths, we have Charles excuse me on this. I'm sorry?
Dribelbiss.
Thank you, Chief. Dribelbiss and Leon Moores. If we could just have a moment of silence for these folks. Thank you. I just want to let you know for the birthdays, all these folks who work for the town, their hard work does not go unnoticed, and I want to wish them all, again, a happy birthday. Under old business, we have discussions and possible actions. The first thing is discussion of the result of the NIAID removal effort in 2017. For 2018, discussion of unused funds from 2017 warrant article, and Steve Baker, the floor is yours.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for coming in.
It's a heat wave out there, are you kidding?
I know it.
I'll give you these.
Okay, thanks.
I'm not going to spend that much time, but I'll give you some handouts that you can review
And you can
later on.
put one more get down there. Yep, thank you so much.
One additional copy that you guys can use as you like.
We have another one.
Anyway, tonight we're just going to give you some overview on how we've done the last 2 years with getting rid of European NIAID. As you know, we discovered it a couple of years ago, and we've been getting some funding from lots of sources, including Milton, town of Milton. The state of New Hampshire, the state of Maine, the town of Lebanon as well has chipped in starting this year. So I'm going to ask Wayne to help me out as well, but what I thought I'd do is start out by telling you that we do lots of things sort of automatically as a function of TPPA. We've been around since 2005, so 12, going on 13 years. And we have about 200 families who are active joined members of the association, and we have a lot of people that keep in touch and don't contribute, but keep track of what's going on in both towns. 2 years ago, we got European NIAID. It was discovered in the river by a swimmer, and he knew where it was. Frankly, none of us had ever heard of it, but we quickly learned that it was an invasive weed that we needed to tackle. It's not as bad as milfoil. Everyone knows or has heard about milfoil. That is like the cream of the crop in terms of the worst you can get. This is a little bit more unintrusive. Doesn't look like much, but it's like any invasive weed. It'll take over if you don't catch it and get rid of it. So we went out looking for funding from lots of sources, and we were quite successful in getting that, starting with both the state and the towns. So I'm going to ask Wayne to give you an overview of what we've done this year, and then I'll summarize by telling you where we are financially.
Thanks. This year, we expended $35,000, $577 to combat this weed. And this is going to be a long-term haul. We anticipate that next year, the price tag on this, for 5 weeks of diver-assisted suction harvesting, what they call DASH, is going to run around $25,000. We may have to go for a 6-week, that'll depend on the weed. We also will use services of Laurie Callahan and the York County Invasive Species Fund, YCIASP, all right? And we anticipate about $2,000 there. So we're looking somewhere in the vicinity of $27,000 to $30,000 to combat this weed next year. Now, 2 years ago, it was really discovered the mother lode was on your map there, segment A. It's on the main shoreline. It was just about 42 acres, and it was dense. And people from DES and DEP came right on board because they were not familiar with this weed either. They had no background. It appears only in one tiny pond in Kittery, Maine, 5-acre pond, and then 3 other ponds, now 5, in New Hampshire. It does appear in many places in Connecticut, New York, the Connecticut River. Connecticut River has everything, all right? But nothing up here. So what happens is they were anxious and very supportive of our efforts to combat this. And we're very generous. We anticipated a price tag of 35 grand. They came in with close to 28 grand in grants. Now, we do not expect that we'll get that again. So we felt that we needed to go to the towns and ask, and you people were very generous in coming up with $10,000, and Lebanon $6,666. And then TPA has a fund as well that we will eventually use. For next year, I have just finished the grant 2 days ago. I'm anticipating that 5 weeks of dash will be close to 25 grand again. And the one thing that we do not need to worry about next year is the herbicide treatment. This past year, a company called Solitude Lake Management out of Shrewsbury, Mass., they came with a product called diquat dibromide. Trade name is Reward. It's a very commonly used herbicide, very safe herbicide. And they applied it on July 26th to that 41 acres along the Maine coast. Surveys were conducted afterwards, and at that point it was discovered that the weed was virtually gone. And in October, in the latest survey, the only remnants of the weed in those 41 acres was in the very northern area up towards the Salmon Falls River, where the weed was 2 to 5 inches in height and scattered growth at best. The other part of the process over the summer was dash harvesting by New England milfoil out of Brownfield, Maine. And they put in 4 10-hour days, and they really do an excellent job in not only surveying, but harvesting using this suction unit. Mighty Joe Campground was extremely helpful in that they disposed of the weed. So George White, the manager of Mighty Joe right now, and before Gary and Sue, they would put a trailer down on the beach, and New England milfoil would offload the weed. And 2 years ago, that was 26,000 gallons of the weed from that treatment area. And they would offload it onto the trailer, and then they would dispose it in their compost pile, well inland. And they did that again this past year. So that allows New England milfoil to stay out in the water for the full 10 hours, rather than having to come in, offload, dispose, go back out, etc. Surveys were done by volunteers of TPPA, Dennis Roberge, Laurie Callahan, and members of both DES and DEP throughout the summer and fall. And as of October 6th, when the last survey was done, it was determined that New England milfoil had done a real good job this year. We think that we've probably knocked this plant back about 50%. And given that this plant goes to seed, all right, by early September, we have to cease operations once it goes to seed, because the plant will spread by either seed or by fragments. And if you begin to go and harvest when the plant has gone to seed, now you're just spreading the seed all over and being carried by currents. So we didn't start this year until July 31st. Last year we started 2 weeks earlier. We don't know whether 2 years ago was a typical year for the growth of this weed, and this was an anomaly, or the other way around. We don't have enough data yet, and neither does the 2 state agencies. But we're pretty confident that with the use of the diversity harvesting, with roughly 20 volunteers from TPPA that go out and survey and harvest manually, that this weed will come under control.
Thank you, Wayne, so much.
Okay, well, last year you guys gave us via a warrant article,
Yeah.
$10,000.
Mm-hmm.
We only spent $2,075 roughly.
2,075?
75,
Okay.
2,075. We had a little, you know, a little less than $8,000 left.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that you guys have already made steps via the accountant to push that remaining $8,000 forward to next year. We're anticipating that we're only gonna use, hopefully, only 5,000 of that next year. So we don't need any action from you folks tonight, as long as you're willing to push the remainder forward, which you told me you're gonna do, Andy.
Yeah,
I
no,
understand.
we can make a motion tonight to encumber your remaining funds
All right, good.
from that warrant article.
Good. And we're, as was our plan this year, we're gonna use whatever we get for grant money first, as well as, and then we'll go into what the towns and what TPPA will provide.
Mhm.
So we think we're good for next year, we're in pretty good shape for next year. And we hope at the end of, next summer, when we take another assessment of the weed and how we're doing against it, that we might not need as much the following year. Obviously, we wanna get rid of it. We don't think we're gonna be rid of it by the end of next summer, but, who knows?
Mhm.
I also wanted to mention, that during the year, we do boat inspections, both down at the town beach, and Jeff Everett does it over at Everett's Cove.
Mhm.
We did over 10,000 boat inspections this year.
Wow, it's incredible.
That's a ton of boats. Now, a lot of that's looking at the same boats that come through at the end of the day and this and that. I'm sorry, did I say 10? I meant to say 1,600. You got 10,000 stuck on the brain. 10,000 this place.
I was gonna say, yeah, that was quite a bit of-
This would look like the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
Anyway, 1,600, which is the most we've ever had.
1,600 is still a lot
Now,
of
we
boats.
pay for the inspections done at the town beach. The TPPA provides out of its own money, $1.50 per boat. And actually, the kids up there who work look at it as quite a bonus, because it takes literally 2 minutes to do a boat inspection.
Mhm.
And I don't know what they make, $8 or $10 an hour, but if you're gonna make $1.50 for 2 minutes, that's a pretty good hourly rate. So at any rate, Everett's Cove actually had a lot more. They had 1,000 inspections to the 600 that was done up the street. The point is, we're looking to make sure that we don't bring another weed,
Mhm.
i.e. milfoil, into the ponds. Unfortunately, there are other places where people put boats in. What happened to Spalding Pond about 7 or 8 years ago is they let boats in over people's lawns, and that's how they got milfoil horrendously bad. They still haven't treated it. There's really no way to treat it down there because it's tough to get into that pond and clean it up. But
Mhm.
at any rate, it only takes one dirty boat to mess up your lake.
Right.
So, I guess from a financial standpoint, we're feeling pretty good for next year, and we really appreciate the town of Milton and Lebanon pitching in to make that happen.
Well, we appreciate all your hard work and
So
And-
if anybody has any questions, we're happy to answer them. Otherwise, that's about all we wanted to tell you tonight.
okay. Well, does anybody have any questions on the NIAID?
Yeah.
Okay, sure,
You
Lynn?
just mentioned about Spalding Pond.
Yes.
Well, we live on Spalding Pond, so nothing's gonna happen on Spalding Pond?
Well, certainly both states know about it. The problem from the get-go, back in 2008 when they found it, was that they spent a couple of years arguing about how they would treat it. Because both Maine and New Hampshire differ on whether they can treat it chemically, and as a result, nothing got done.
Ugh.
And it just kept growing and growing.
Because I know, it's getting bad down there.
Yeah, it is.
Well, what about the future?
I can't talk about Spalding Pond because I don't
Okay,
really know
I'm sorry.
anything about it.
Okay.
I
You
don't even
mentioned
know whether they have an association or not.
You don't know about it?
you know.
Okay. Well, thanks again, and I appreciate all your hard efforts to, the TPPA continues to fight this, the NIAID, and, as we all know, it's not just people who live around the lake that this is a problem for, for the folks around the lake. It's not. It's a problem for the town of Milton.
Yeah,
And-
as I've said in other meetings, the lakes and the taxes that we contribute are sort of
Very much
the
so.
economic engine for the town, and you wanna keep property values up, you gotta make sure your lake's not
Mhm.
a bad place.
Right,
you know.
exactly. So, again, I appreciate all your hard efforts to TPPA.
Thank you. Wayne's got a meeting downstairs, and I'm gonna go home and watch the football game.
Okay. Okay. So,
Thank you.
so do you want to make a motion to encumber that, or do you want me to, or?
You can, so we all set, I mean, I want to do it, I just want to make sure we're following the process right.
Yeah, no, I called the attorney.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and make a motion.
Okay, so I will make a motion for, to encumber the $7,925 that was a warrant article that they only used $2,075 of. So we're going to encumber the $7,925 for the TPPA to fight the NIAID.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Michael?
Okay, up next, under new business, discussions and possible actions. First up is the discussion in the appointment of a new selectman this evening. I first want to thank, we had four candidates who put a letter of interest in for this position. I want to thank each and every one of them that put the letter of interest in for the position. I appreciate everybody's hard work that did so. Tonight, we've asked actually Tim Long to be our sit-in till March for our new selectman. So if Tim would come up, I'll swear him in, and he can sit down and tell the folks a little bit about himself and why he's why we.
You want to just make a motion?
Yeah, I can make a motion.
So we can vote.
Okay, sure. I'll make a motion to ask Tim Long to be our next selectman.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I just also want to thank everybody for the interest. It wasn't an easy decision. There was multiple good candidates, and looking forward to working as a team with everybody to keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. So, come on up. You stand right in front.
Uh,
In front of him.
Really, Mr.
Not
Long.
me.
Over here. Yep.
Not me.
Raise your right hand. I, Tim Long,
Fred Timothy Long,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all duties incumbent
all duties and duties
on me as the selectman of the town of Milton,
as used as selectman of the town of Milton,
of New Hampshire,
of New Hampshire,
according to the best of my abilities,
according to the best of my abilities,
agreeable to the rules and regulations
and with the rules and regulations
of the Constitution and laws of the state of New Hampshire.
of the Constitution and laws of the state of New Hampshire.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you
sir.
very much.
I guess you sit next to him.
So we'll have, if you want to fill that out,
I said it.
we'll all
Sure.
sign it.
The rose, the 2 points.
There you go.
I'm not going to do the rose.
What's that?
I'll leave that on the agenda.
Oh, thank
So
you.
sit right down, Tim,
Okay,
and this
thank
is
you.
your agenda right here.
Thank you.
This is your packet.
Oh, thank you.
And everything is
All laid out.
all laid out for you.
Wow.
Okay?
Thank you
All
very
right, you're
much.
welcome. All right, so up next, we have the swearing in of the alternate library trustee, Betsy Baker. Would you?
I want to introduce Miranda Myrie. She has agreed to be an alternate on the Board of Trustees for the library. And we discussed this last time, that bringing on an alternate, and you already were agreeable to that, and
Mhm.
so I'm hoping that we could swear her in this evening.
Most definitely. We can do that if she wants to just come right on up. Thank you very much. So raise your right hand. I
I, Miranda Myrie,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly
that I
swear
will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all duties incumbent on me
all duties incumbent on me
as,
as the alternate library trustee
there you go, of the town of Milton,
of the town of Milton,
of New Hampshire,
New Hampshire,
according to the best of my abilities,
according to the best of my abilities,
agreeably to the rules and regulations
agreeably to the rules and
of
regulations
the Constitution of laws
of the Constitution of laws
of the state of Hampshire.
of the state of New Hampshire.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your new job, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What's that?
We can go off the beach, all right.
No, please don't. No. Yeah, you can just fill, can you fill that one out?
It's all the signatures.
What's that?
It's
Oh,
our
it's,
signatures.
oh, it's just our signatures, okay. Thank you. We'll normally Heather has that all taken care of.
And then we gotta write.
You have to write her name in there and so forth. All right, so.
I got you now.
Okay. Very good. Those are extras. Okay, so up next is setting the deliberative session date and time. So, do we have,
Yep, so it looks like February 19th. Nope. Nope, nope, nope.
I didn't see it on,
No, it's not in here.
I didn't see it on when she comes back. She has it written down. Do you know when the deliberative session is?
That's the 19th.
What is it?
February 10th.
At 9 o'clock in the morning.
Thank you, Larry.
February 10th.
So the deliberative session is February 10th. At, what time did you say, Brian?
9 o'clock.
9, okay. So February 10th, 9 o'clock.
And where is that to be held?
At the high school.
So the February 3rd date didn't work?
No, unfortunately.
So the school is still on the 3rd in the afternoon?
No, ours is that day, the 10th, also, but at 1 o'clock.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So, do you want to make a motion, Ryan?
Sure.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the February 10th at 9 o'clock for the deliberative session for the town
Second.
at the school.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. So, up next is the approval to reschedule the February 19th BOS meeting to February 12th due to holiday closure.
Andy? I already have in that that's the deliberative session snow date. Did anybody get approval about doing it on Sunday? Larry, have you heard anything?
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, the discussion is on moving the selectmen's meeting.
No, yep, right, but I already
She's
have in
back
my
to the-
calendar that that is a deliberative session snow day, because we couldn't have it on Sunday. Did anybody get any clarification on that?
The deliberative session is not under the control of the budget committee.
Okay. Then
Yeah,
did anybody get clarification on that?
I was under the understanding it was Sunday.
Okay, there was, I just heard that there was some reason why it could not be on Sunday. So,
Until I hear further notice,
Okay.
that's what I
Okay.
was under the assumption, so, it was Sunday, the following
Right.
day. So, up next, was, the approval of the reschedule for February 19th Board of Selectmen's meeting to the 12th, due to holiday closure. Do you wanna make the motion for that?
I'll make a motion to move the February 19th meeting for the Board of Selectmen to February 12th.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So up next on the agenda, moving right along, was the acceptance of the K-9 donation to the Milton PD from the Controlled K-9 LLC. And up, we have the chief here to talk about the good news of the donation. So the floor is yours, chief.
So the week of just after Christmas, the company Controlled K-9 LLC was donating a 3-year-old, was looking for a small town police department to donate a 3-year-old Dutch Shepherd to like I said, a small town police department for police work. The dog is very green, has very minimal training, but is a working dog to their standard. We had contacted them to get some information. They chose us to receive the donation. We have taken the dog and had the dog evaluated. The dog does have trainability, so with the acceptance of the donation, we're going to have the dog trained and work towards having it as a canine for the town of Milton.
Perfect.
My intention is to have it as a dual-purpose dog to do both patrol work, which will allow for article searches, people searches for lost people in the woods, also for people who flee from us or who may break into a home or things like that. But also, if the dog passes everything, to have it as a dual purpose to do for drugs and drug searches as well.
Wonderful. And I think it'll be a huge asset to the town of Milton. So, do you have anything to add to that, Ryan? Or for Tim?
Just one question. Where are you going to keep the dog?
The dog will be housed with me.
Thank you.
That's one way to get a dog.
I already have 2, so.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Can I have a motion to accept the donation?
I'll make a motion to accept the K-9 donation to the Milton Police Department.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, chief, for all your hard work. So up next, we have the encumbrances. So do you have another encumbrance,
I do.
Betsy?
The trustees voted to encumber any monies left over from the library budget to be held for Boudel construction as additional monies towards the work that they have been accepted. Their bid has been accepted for the tower, the belfry, the roof, the mansard, and the windows.
So that scope of work has already been, that they've already signed a contract?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And so, yeah, it'll, I don't know what the number is yet.
And when was that signed? When was that contract
The
signed?
contract signed, I don't have the contract, but.
But you do though? And
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and it was signed last year? Oh, go ahead,
I
Pat.
believe that she's referring to the Boudel contract that
Mhm.
we went over last year for the phase 2 of the library renovations, and we put up one phase of that. It's a 3-phase contract.
Yeah.
And I believe she's talking about the first phase, which is the upper belfry.
Okay. All right. No, that's wonderful. And how, and what is the amount, what's the revenue amount that you're
Well,
gonna
it will
encumber?
be whatever is left over, and as of last Monday, I didn't have that figure. The payroll wasn't complete for the year, and there was at least 2 outstanding oil bills.
Okay, go ahead, Larry.
The, Larry Brown, library trustee. The vote and motion of the trustees was for the amount to be encumbered against that construction, presently estimated at approximately $5,500, and as determined by the Board of Selectmen and their audit. So whatever that number is, that's it.
Okay. No, I'm fine with it, because it's perfectly fine. So I just need a motion.
Don't we want to get that number first?
Well, he just said it's $5,500
Approximately.
approximately. Yeah.
So we can just do it on approximate.
Well,
Or
it's
we
what
wanna
I,
wait till we have the actual number and.
I mean, it's up to you. I mean, they have the signed contract, so whatever the remaining balance, I mean, it could be a motion, whatever the remaining balance is, you know, so we can just put it to bed, whatever the remaining balance is in the libraries.
Okay, so do we need to encumber these 3 first?
Hold on.
These 3 POs?
Hold on a second, I just gotta find it. Is this for the library?
Yes.
Yeah, we
These-
want
these first-
$35, $99, right?
Well, this is the motion that they made.
Okay, but we need to encumber these 3. These are for you too, right? Are these for you?
Yes, although I believe that 2 of them have already come in.
Okay.
What do you mean by already?
That I
Have they been
encumbered
paid?
them because I didn't know if the bill was going to be in by the time,
But
by the end of the year.
so did the bill come in and was it paid? Was the check written on it? Because we won't have to encumber the money if you've already paid it. That's what I'm.
The one for $99.99.
Citizens.
Well, yes.
Okay.
And the Citizens one for
For 35.
$35 was also paid. The purchase order to $18,279 has not been paid, is not,
Okay.
needs to be encumbered.
Okay. And that was that purchase was made last year, Betsy?
In 2017.
Okay. Perfect. Okay.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to encumber $274.41 for PO 18279.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And on the bell tower,
Purchase order 18,532. would be the unexpended balance of the 2017 operating budget to be encumbered to building repair, the final amount to be determined.
So I'll make a motion to use the remaining unexpended balance from the library budget to be encumbered to be used towards the bell tower repair contract, which is PO 18532.
Perfect.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Fine.
Aye. Perfect.
Now, this is going to be contingent on encumbrances. Make sure that the numbers add up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's a good question, Tim. So, have a nice night. So I would like to make a motion on encumbering. So my motion would be to encumber any contracts, bills, or expenses that the town encumbered prior to January 1st, 2018 should be encumbered in the 2017 budget. So that's my motion for any contracts or bills that the town has in 2017.
Okay. Is that something we typically,
Yeah, I
how
talked
we
to Heather.
typically do it?
Yeah, yeah, I talked to Heather today, and she has some outstanding contracts that came in that were billed last year, but there were contracts of last year. She just got the bills now.
Okay, so
So-
building contracts that essentially the board has already accepted.
Yes, but we just need to encumber that fund.
Okay, I'll second it.
So that's my motion. He seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll go plan.
Yeah.
Oh, who takes care of this? Michelle takes care of it? Who takes care of this? The town manager?
The encumbrance, yeah, Heather.
Who takes care of it?
Yeah. So up next, we have the Board of Selectmen's approval on the warrant articles. So, we're gonna read all, I'm not gonna read all these, you guys can take a few and read them. So Article 1 is zoning. Do you wanna take that?
Sure. Are you in favor of adoption of Amendment 1 as proposed by the planning board for the town zoning ordinance as follows? To amend the Milton zoning ordinance by adding new article XXI entitled accessory dwelling units, which makes an accessory dwelling unit a permitted use by right in conjunction with any permissible single-family dwelling while maintaining the visible and functional character of a single-family residence neighborhoods as required by the 2016 state statute, RSA 674:71-73. Copies of the complete text of Amendment 1 are available for review at the town office and will be available the day of election. Recommended by the planning board.
So, you both sit on the planning board. Do you want to, do you have anything to add to that, or do you want to talk about?
So basically it's allowing single-family homes to have a in-law apartment is essentially what this is allowing for, which is part of a new state statute that the entire state of New Hampshire has adopted. This is just a minor amendment to it to be better adapted for the town of Milton.
Mhm.
Getting it to add.
It's very, very simple, very, very good.
Okay. So, do you recommend it?
I do.
Okay,
I'll say that.
okay. And I'll recommend it, so that's three recommends. Do you want to make a motion to accept Article 1?
I will make a motion to accept Article 1 for the 2018 warrant.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
So it's 3 yeses. No no's. Article 2. Do you have these?
No,
Yes.
I'll just abstain.
You want to abstain from all the articles?
I haven't read them yet.
Okay.
I don't have them.
Um,
I don't do it.
all right.
He's gonna share them with me?
He has them in there?
You did?
That's what,
Peg, they're on that side. They're loose, they're not in the
he
binder.
goes for.
Oh, yes, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so do you want to abstain from all this?
No, well, I can read them.
Okay, very good. I appreciate that. So Article 2. Do you want to read Article 2, Tim?
Zoning.
Yeah.
I don't have it. I should just tell you the truth. Want to read the whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
Are you in favor of the adoption of amendment number 2 as proposed by the planning board for the town zoning ordinance as follows? To amend Article 16, groundwater protection overlay district by updating all sections to ensure compliance with current state statutes and administrative rules. To amend Section 3, definitions to add, delete definitions as required by statute. To amend Article 4, groundwater protection overlay district to add wetland protection areas and to add 1,000-foot radius around wells for blasting activities. To amend Section 6, performance standards by updating to reflect current best management practices for source water protection, including those pertaining to regulated substances, and by adding a requirement that projects to prepare a groundwater monitoring plan when excavating or blasting within 1,000 feet of municipal water wells. To amend Section 11, exemptions B, to correct an error. To amend Section 16, effective date, by adding date of enactment and amendment, and various revisions were made throughout the text to identify updated reference documents or sections. Copies of the complete text of amendment number 2 are available to review at the town office and will be available the day of election. Basically what it is just a protection for groundwater when you're excavating or blasting around groundwater areas, to keep the blasting away, to protect the groundwater, to protect wells, etc.
Okay.
Basically.
Okay. All right. So, are you in favor for this one article?
Yes.
Okay. Can I just see that back quick? Okay. So, are you in favor?
Yep.
Okay. And I'm in favor for it. So that's 3 yeses and no no's. Can I get a motion to accept Article 2?
I'll make a motion to accept Article 2.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So Article 2 has been accepted. So Article 3, the operating budget, I'll take this one. To see if the town will vote to raise the appropriate of the operating budget $4,580,150, not to include appropriations by special warrant articles and other appropriations voted separately. The amount set forth on the budget posted with a warrant or as amended by the vote of the first session. Should this article be defeated, the default budget shall be XXX and XXX and XXX and cents, which is the same as last year, with certain adjustments required by previous actions of the town by law, and governing body may hold one special meeting in accordance with 40:13X and XV1 to take up the issues of the revised operating budget only. So, do you recommend the operating budget? Okay. Do you okay, and I do too. So I just need so that's 3 yeses, no nos. I just need a motion for the article.
I'll make the motion to accept Article 3.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, up next is Article 4, the highway and the road construction.
Article 4, Highway and Road Reconstruction, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $290,000 for the highway and road reconstruction purposes. Said amount is partially offset by revenues from the highway block grant, estimated to be $134,000. This appropriation will be a non-lapsing appropriation for RSA 32:7, Section 6, and will not lapse until completed by December 31st, 2019.
And it's recommended by the budget committee, and
I don't think the budget committee's voted yet. I think that's just there.
okay, my bad. They haven't. Thank you. Yes, I apologize. So I will. Yes, I'll vote on this. Tim,
Yes.
you recommend it? Okay, so that's 3-0. I just need a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept Article 4.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So Article 5, Tim?
To see if the town will vote to authorize the selectmen to enter a 10-year lease purchase agreement for the sum of $505,000, that's 505,000, for the purpose of leasing a pumper tanker to replace the 1989 pumper for the fire department, as described in the recommendation of 2018 to 2023 capital improvement plan. The first year's payment will commence in 2019 at the expiration of the lease of the 2013 pumper, and it's estimated to be approximately $61,000. This lease agreement contains an escape clause, majority vote required. This was explained to the CIP program that the planning board was involved in, and I would recommend it.
Yeah, I recommend it also. This would be a huge asset to have a pumper, fire pumper in Milton. So I definitely would recommend it. Ryan?
Yep, I recommend it.
Okay, so it's
So I'll make a motion to accept Article 5.
3-0.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, up next is Article 6, Fire Department Equipment and Apparatus Capital Reserve, to see if the town of Milton will vote and raise the sum of $65,000 to be added to the Milton Fire Department Equipment and Apparatus Capital Reserve Fund previously established for the purpose of the funding future capital expenditures as described in the recommended 2018 to 2023 capital improvement programs. This sum comes from the fund balance and has no amount to be raised from taxation. So I will recommend that.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion to accept Article 6.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Article 7, Tim?
To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $15,000 to be added to the Highway Department Special Equipment Fund previously established for the purpose of funding future capital expenditures as described in the recommendation 2018 to 2023 capital improvement program.
So I will, I recommend that.
I do also.
I do as well.
Okay, so that's 3. I just need a motion.
Make a motion to accept Article 7.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Article 8, Highway Department Vehicle Fund, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $50,000 to be added to the Highway Department Vehicle Fund, previously established for the purpose of funding future capital expenditures, as described in the recommended 2018 to 2023 capital improvements program. The sum to come from the fund balance and no amount to be raised by taxation. I would recommend it.
I definitely recommend
I
it.
do.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept Article 8.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
So the next one is is Article 9, is to establish a municipal building capital reserve fund, to see if the town will vote to establish a capital reserve fund under the provisions of RSA 35:1 for the purpose of designing and constructing and maintaining municipal buildings, and to raise the appropriate of the sum of $50,000 to be placed in the funds for the purpose of funding future capital expenditures and described and recommended in 2018-2023 capital improvement program. This sum is to come from the fund balance and no amount is to be raised from taxation. Further, to name the selectmen as the agents to expend from this fund. I recommend this,
I do also, it's needed.
I agree.
so I just need a,
I'll make a motion to accept Article 9.
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Tim?
Number 10, to see if the town will vote and raise and appropriate the sum of $31,000 to be placed in the Milton Free Public Library Capital Reserve Fund, previously established for the purpose of funding future capital expenditures as described in the recommendation 2018 to 2023 capital improvements program. The sum is to come from the fund balance and no amount to be raised from taxation. Majority vote required. I think it's a good idea.
I do
I
too.
agree.
I just need a
Make a
motion.
motion to accept Article 10.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Town of Milton Technology Fund, Article 11, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $8,000 to be placed in the Town of Milton Technology Fund, previously established for the purpose of funding future capital expenditures as described in the recommended 2018 to 2023 capital improvements program. The sum is to come from the fund balance and no amount is to be raised from taxation. Majority vote required. I would recommend this.
Yeah.
I do also.
I'll make a motion to accept Articles 11.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Up next is Article 12, Geographic Information System, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $8,000 for the purpose of establishing a Geographic Information System, GIS, for the town as described in the recommended 2018 to 2023 capital improvement program. This sum is to come from the fund balance and no amount of money is raised from taxation.
Yes.
Yep.
I totally agree.
I'll make a motion to accept Article 12.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 13.
Yes, sir.
To see if the town will vote to establish capital reserve fund under the provisions of RSA 35:1 for the purpose of repairing, reconstructing, or constructing bridges or culverts in the town of Milton, and to raise and appropriate the sum of $25,000 to be placed in this fund for the purpose of funding future capital expenditures as described in the recommended 2018 to 2023 capital improvements program. The sum is to come from the fund balance and no amount to be raised from taxation. Further, to name the selectmen as agents to expend from this fund. Majority vote required. Given the bridges need to be and the culverts need to be taken care of, I recommend it.
Yep.
I agree. I'll make a motion to accept Article 13.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Article 14, Milton Recreation Capital Reserve. To see if the town will vote and to raise and appropriate the sum of $15,000 to be added to the Milton Recreation Capital Reserve Fund previously established for the purpose of repairing the town boat ramp. The sum to come from the fund balance and no amount to be raised from taxation. majority vote required. I would not recommend this. It's not recommended in the CIP program. It was brought up in the CIP program, and I think we should be following the CIP. There's other areas we could get this money from, so I'm not in favor of this article.
I'm definitely in favor of this article. You know, for one, the boat ramp is in desperate need of repair. It's in disrepair. You know, fixing our infrastructure at the town beach is very, it's huge. We need to keep moving forward with the town beach. In the last few years, we've beautified it, and we need to continue on upgrades down at the town beach. And I totally recommend. This was already passed last year once, and this is to finish the project. So we have one.
I agree. I'm sorry, but I agree with Ryan.
Okay.
We discussed it thoroughly at the planning board, and we didn't really feel as though it was, we felt that it was a lot of money for what had to be done.
Okay, no, that's no worries. So 1 yes, 2 no's.
So that fails.
Well, no, it still goes on the warrant article.
Mhm.
No, because
Is-
majority votes required.
No, that's just a recommendation.
That's for the warrant article.
But I thought, don't we choose what goes on the warrant articles? So since it doesn't make it, does it? Or am I incorrect? It doesn't even make it to the warrants, because the majority of the board of selectmen has to agree for it to make it on the warrant.
Okay. All right, I'll have to, okay, well, that's fine, I'll look into that.
Right.
Okay, the next one is Article 15, the eradicate the European naiad, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $5,000 for the purpose of eradicating the invasive plant species, the European naiad, from the water bodies in the town of Milton. This is a special warrant article. This sum is to come from the fund balance, and no amount is to be raised from taxation. So I definitely agree.
I thoroughly agree.
I do as well.
Mr.
So,
Chairman,
Yes, sir.
sorry to interrupt, but before you guys take a vote on this, just to, so you guys don't have to keep coming back, so TPPA doesn't have to keep coming back every year to ask you to encumber the money, wouldn't it be better if you guys made this warrant article, make it a revolving account? So that way the money stays in there, you guys are the agent to expend, that if they have money left over like they did this year, where they have $7,000 left over, the money just stays in the account. If they need extra money, say in 2019, that they don't spend all the $5,000 in 2018, the money's already there. They can just spend it in 2019. It's a revolving account for the extra years that they need. Just go into
I think we ought to seek legal advice on that.
Yeah,
I don't
well,
think we can do it.
well, it'd be hard to change the warrant article though, because this has already been gone in front of the attorney, and this is
well,
how.
we could send it back in front of them to tweak it.
You haven't had your public hearing yet, so.
Okay, all
I
right, no,
don't
we
see
can
why
do
you
that
couldn't
then.
get it.
So
Okay.
then also, all these are gonna go back a number, right? So from this point, this is really Article 14 now.
Mr. Chairman, you don't have to do that. I'm just trying to save
Yeah,
you
no, it's
guys
actually,
from
we
having
talked
to-
about it, actually. It's a good idea, actually. You're right, chief. Thanks.
I just don't know whether or not it's legal to do it that's all.
Yeah, well,
But
it's
the
gonna,
attorney will.
yeah. Yeah, we'll have the attorney. So can you have Heather look into that on Article 15?
14.
14. Well, it was Article 15, but now it's going to be 14. Okay. So, did you make a motion to accept that? The NIAID.
I want to accept it, but do we want to wait until we seek legal advice on how to reword that so we can
Okay. Okay.
I don't know, can we make a motion to accept it? Well, no, we really should wait.
Yeah, just, we'll wait. Okay, so next up is Article 16, to extend the fire chief's term, to see if the town will vote to extend the term of office for the position of fire chief from 1 year to 3 years. And I'm in favor of that.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
So I'll make the motion to accept the warrant article to extend the fire chief's term, which was Article 16, which will now be Article 15.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so there's the warrant articles.
What about 17?
I'm sorry? Was it?
16, 17, the next one? You have 17?
Oh, it's not on here.
I don't know, just look at it. But,
Oh, yeah, that's right, I'm sorry. So there is one more, there is one more, article, line. It's from the conservation. So the article is to see if the town will, pursuant to RSA 80:85, vote to retain for public use, said use being permanent conservation easement with the public access to be stewarded by the qualified conservation organization, a certain property received by tax deed, said property being an approximate 5.5 acres and located on a Class 6 portion of Winding Road, formerly known as Map 41, Lot 68, 11, 68, 12, 68, 13, 68, 14, 68, 15, exclusive of dedicated right-of-way and referenced by the subdivision plat recorded in the SCRD as file 85/95 dated June 6, 2006, now merged into one lot, referenced by the voluntary merger notice, recorded in the SCRD as book 4533, page 844, dated December 11th, 2017.
yes.
So,
Yep, I'm in favor.
okay, and I'm in favor also.
So I'll make the motion to accept Article 16 for the conservation easement.
All in favor?
Second.
Aye.
Thank you. All right. So that's that. That's the warrant articles. Okay. Up next is the emergency management performance grant. And that's right here. And this is a grant that Nick, let me skip to it here. This is an emergency management grant that Nick is putting in for. It's for the Division of Homeland Security Emergency Management. The grant is for $4,000, and it's to update the LEOP updates.
Yep.
That's what it's for.
So I'll make a motion to accept the terms of the Emergency Management Performance Grant, EMPG, as presented in the amount of $4,000 to update the community's local emergency operations plan. Furthermore, the board acknowledges that the cost of the project will be $8,000, in which the town will be responsible for a 50% match of $4,000.
And that 50% match is timed match, not money matched. So how we're gonna match that is through our time of updating the emergency management. So there's no money involved.
And I will also make add to this motion that the board authorizes the chair to sign all documents related to this grant.
Okay, gotcha. We actually all sign it anyway, so.
I agree.
So I'll second it.
Yes.
All in favor?
All right.
Okay, you second it.
So we're all gonna sign it, yeah.
Oh, actually, hold on. We gotta get Michelle in here. Sorry.
She's going to pass that down to them. Thank you. Is this, we're on assessing bids for advertising?
Yeah, next, yeah. Yeah.
We got a date, please. You were gonna give me some information on the power grid up at the landfill a couple of months ago. You said
Yeah, well, actually, we did get a check received on that.
I need everything that we've actually put into it, and then all of the ones that have come our way since it started. Or I'll put it before you.
All right, Chip.
You can notarize my bill?
I apologize, I signed it, but please don't take my birthday away.
Check with the date, yeah.
And he, Tim has to sign it.
Are you on your selectmen?
Yes.
Congratulations.
I didn't initial the first page. So.
Okay. Oh, you didn't? Oh, you did.
No, I did, okay.
Okay, Tim, just sign right here, please. And, Selectman here. You didn't realize you were gonna sign your name so many times, did you? And just initial each one, each page. Yep,
You're gonna date it?
and here. Yep. Thank you. so much, Michelle.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too. You can give that to Danielle. So up next, we have the bids for review bids for Avatar assessing and MRI assessing. These are the two bids that we got in for assessing. I've looked over both bids. I'm leaning towards Avatar personally. We already have Avatar software in the building we're using. It would be a very easy transition for the town to switch to Avatar Associates of New England. So that's what I'm where I'm leaning with on the assessing. What about you, Ryan? What do you think?
I've looked at these two, and then also I just want to mention we did have a third, which is Corcoran's, which is our current assessing one, so we did get 3 bids, just to be transparent here. And after reviewing them, I'm leaning towards Avatar as well. Seems like it's going to be the easiest way to make the transition. Our tax collecting, appraisal, building permit, and sewer program all use their software. And also, there are similar towns, similar sizes to ours that are kind of, in the past, have been in the same predicament we are in right now. And they now have Avatar, and they are familiar with some of the issues we have been going through. So my recommendation would be Avatar assessing.
Do you want to add anything, Tim? I know you.
I will add something. My wife and I purchased, this has been going on for years. My wife and I purchased a home in Milton 18 years ago.
I'm sorry, can you speak up, please?
Can you speak up a little, Tim?
Avatar, at that particular time, reassessed our property, which was already in current use. They assessed it as house lots. We came to several hearings and no satisfaction at all. So eventually we did go for the extra route, and we spent quite a bit of money on an attorney and was settled within a week. So, I mean, we had to go that extra mile. The conversations with Avatar really didn't work out. And I noticed the numbers of complaints to the selectmen on your last meeting. And if Avatar is going to go this route, then I would suggest we search for somebody else. That's my suggestion. My wife and I have not been happy with Avatar.
Okay. Well, going over the two bids that we got,
Mhm.
and you have them too.
Yes.
I haven't had a chance to look at them.
Yeah, I know he hasn't.
That's
Oh,
okay.
go ahead, sir.
Isn't this the company that so signally failed in the recent valuation?
No,
That would be
Avatar? Wasn't the lady that was sitting here from Avatar?
no, sir.
Was Corcoran.
That was Cochran.
All right.
Okay, thank you. So we've gone over both of the bids, and like Ryan said, we did get 3 bids, but one of them was Cochran, and I, unfortunately, Tim, I wish I would agree with you, but I don't.
Maybe they've changed.
Yeah. Between these 2 bids, I really feel confident that Avatar will do a great job with the town of Milton. So if I have a motion on the table.
gonna have to make a motion to go with Avatar for the new assessing contractor, based off all of the information I've received prior to this point. I'm gonna have to stick with what I got for information.
Mhm.
So that'll be my motion.
And I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Tim?
No.
That's fine. So Avatar Associates will be our next new assessor in town. And I'm sure they'll be coming right on board here very quickly too.
So I just think before we sign the contract, we should have Heather send the contract to legal to review, make sure we're all good with it.
I actually,
Excellent suggestion.
yeah, well, I actually asked her today if it has been reviewed by council, and she said it was. So, but, you know, we haven't got the contract in front of us to sign anyways. We're just accepting the contract, so as soon as she gets back, she can.
Well, we're accepting to go forward to use them as our assessing
Mhm.
contractor.
Yeah.
We haven't officially accepted the contract yet,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
This is for 2 years?
Yeah. The 2 years. If you have any questions, we can go into them. Do you have any questions, Tim?
No.
Okay.
Not at this point.
Okay, up next is the approval of the minutes.
All right, so we have the November 14th minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You good with them?
Yep.
I will make a motion to accept the Board of Selectmen November 14th minutes.
I will second it. You'll have to abstain, of course, Tim, because you wasn't here.
I'll abstain even though I have witnessed the meetings.
Just a quick question. Are those the ones that are dated November 20th on the top?
No,
No.
those are different ones.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So then we have, which this isn't on the agenda, but we do have the November 20th revised meeting minutes. So I will make a motion to accept the November 20th Board of Selectmen meeting minutes.
I will second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And Tim will abstain.
Then we have the December 18th Board of Selectmen meeting minutes. You good with them?
Yep.
I will make a motion to accept those.
I will second it.
Abstain.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
And Tim abstained. Okay. So up next is the treasurer and the expenditure report. Do you have anything on the expenditure report? We're into a new year here, so it all looks
Yeah.
good. So up next, we'll just get right to the selectmen's comments. Go ahead.
All right, so actually, question for you. Want to have a discussion about the planning board ex officio? Do you want me to bring that up now, or do you want to wait for other business?
No, you can bring it up now.
Okay. So, current time, technically the Board of Selectmen ex officio for the planning board. Tim's also on the planning board.
Mm-hmm.
That's not gonna work.
Right.
Should
You
we
guys
resign?
Decide. I mean, I can resign from the planning board and ask somebody to fill in for me, or whatever. It's your pleasure.
Yeah,
So,
it's really between you two.
In
Yeah.
point of fact, he should have resigned in incompatibility of his position prior to being sworn in as selectman, since you asked.
Are you gonna step down? Are you gonna continue on the board? Or did you want to appoint him to be?
I know it doesn't matter either way to me.
Well, it's up to you two.
Either way.
Will it break your cycle if I fill in for you? I mean, would you rather be on the planning board as well as? If not, I can resign from the planning board. It's totally up to you.
It is incompatible. You must resign from the planning board.
Thank you, Larry. If he decides to stay on, then Ryan is going to resign from the planning board.
Ryan is not on the planning board. He is the representative of the selectmen. You cannot have two selectmen on the planning board.
All right, thank you, Larry. Yeah, actually, would you please resign from the planning board?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Would you state it to the public?
I'm going to resign from the planning board.
Effective?
With my appointment as...
Thank you. So, in reality, I guess, Ryan, you're going to continue with the planning board?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Next.
All right, so now that we get that over with, a little rough, but let's get it straightened out. I just want to wish everybody a Happy New Year. Looking forward to continuing to work to move the town forward, and hope to continue to work as a team with everybody, and I think that we should try to make that our model and goal for the year. We worked a lot as a team this past year, but I think we can always improve on that and continue to do that, and I'd like to see as much, if not more, of that this year. So.
Thank you.
I concur. And communication, you people have done a wonderful job videoing, making sure this is recorded for the general public. I think you've done an excellent job.
I want to thank Bob Courier for that.
Of course.
And our one and only here, Tom McDougall, because he does quite a bit of it himself too. So thank you, Tom. Do you have anything else?
Fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I have a couple of things. Again, I want to wish everybody a Happy New Year. I totally agree with what Ryan's statement. I look forward to working with the taxpayers and the board. So I also want to congratulate Dustin Nason on his New Year's baby. We want to welcome little Corbin to the towns of Milton family here. So congratulations to Dustin Nason on his little baby. I want to let you know I did talk to Heather and today. And I want to wish our town administrator a quick recovery, and hope she just gets well soon. We certainly do miss her, and we're keeping her in our prayers. So wish her a fast recovery. And the only thing else I have up is I have, as everybody's known, this is we've been having trouble with our furnace here in town hall, and it's on its very last leg. We've been kind of babying this thing the last couple of weeks. We've had to shut down town hall once because of the furnace. So Pat has a bid here for a proposal for a new furnace. It is $10,300. It's $300 over the requirements for the bidding, but we've had so much problems with this furnace. I don't know. What do you probably had, this was just given to me tonight. I don't know if you want to look at the scope of work, but this is where we are. He has one bid for the new furnace so far. I didn't know if you guys wanted to go with a bid, or,
I feel as though we should have 3 bids
okay,
myself. I always feel as though
okay?
we're
No?
dealing with the public and we have to answer the public, and now we're going to be accused of just dealing
Yeah.
with one.
No, I have no
person.
problem, I have no problem with that, I
That's-
just
that's my
wanted,
opinion.
Yeah.
Maybe we could ask Pat.
no, I will in 1 sec. I just wanna let you know that the furnace is close to 40 years old or around there. And we've all been Band-Aiding and trying to get this thing so it runs every day. So, Pat, if,
So, before we go any further, I agree the furnace is old. However, just because it's old, doesn't mean we need to jump to replacing because we've had a couple little issues.
I'm just going by our recommendations from the DPW director.
Now,
That's all I can do.
I really, you're not aware of this, but at the last planning board meeting, as some of the work the planning board is gonna work on for this year, they decided to work on the chapter for public buildings, which is basically gonna take a look at all the buildings in towns and their needs. So, I personally do not think that right now is the time to be replacing the furnace. I think we can continue to use it, and we should wait to see how the work of the planning board goes, because the recommendation may end up being that we should do other things before we do the furnace.
Well, that's fine. So,
But that's my
Pat,
opinion.
no, that's fine too. So Pat, do us a favor, get 2 more quotes.
Whatever you guys want. I mean, to make it clear, I've said in the past that we need work done on this building, and the furnace was one of them. I did not say today or yesterday or in the last couple of days that we need to go buy a furnace today. I didn't say that. The furnace does need to be considered to be replaced, okay? So, you guys are the ones that make the decision. If you want me to get you quotes, you ask me to get quotes, I'll get quotes, whatever you want to do. There's no money in any of my budgets to purchase a furnace. So you need to know that. If you guys decide as a board to purchase a furnace, you need to tell me where you're gonna take the monies from also.
Right. Well, it wouldn't hurt to get 2 more quotes. You know, town hall, we have heat today, but we didn't have heat over the coldest weekend of the year so far. This furnace, you know, it's very old and it's on its last leg. It wouldn't hurt to get 2 more quotes, and you know, and then we'll go from there.
Just so that you guys realize that we are under contract as of the first of the year with Strogens for all our heating needs. So that's a 1-year deal. They do all our cleaning, all our maintenance, and take care of all of our AC, HVAC stuff.
I personally don't think it's time to get more quotes. I'm not in favor of it.
Do we have, have we had anybody look at the furnace to see whether or not it can be fixed or has to be replaced?
Pat would be that.
Strogens has been here a couple of times since the furnace. We've had trouble with the furnace since Christmas. We've worked on it the Christmas weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to get heat back in here so that we could open on Wednesday. Then it went down again on New Year's weekend. We worked on it to get it going again. So we've had issues with it. I did ask them when they come in to evaluate it. At the time that they came in, they said it was running fine. They did give us a new pump. We installed that pump Sunday. We had to come in Sunday again because the heat went out Saturday afternoon. We installed the pump. I contacted Strogens. Strogens came back in. They replaced some other parts that were on the furnace, and the furnace is currently running. to determine whether there's anything wrong with it. I mean, it's running, it's been heating the building when it's, you know, when we replaced the parts, so I can't say that that is gonna last 5 minutes, 5 days, 5 years. I don't know what it's gonna do. They don't know what it's gonna do. It is an old system. What I just been doing is repairing it as we go.
What kind of a furnace is it?
Do you know what kind of furnace it is, Pat?
What is the heating system? Is it hot water?
It's hot air.
Forced hot air.
Forced hot air?
Yeah.
It's fairly simple.
Yeah. I mean, getting quotes is free.
Right, but the problem is
You know.
you constantly send stuff up to quote, and we don't do anything for a year or two, and then we send out quotes again, you end up kind of aggravating these guys.
I absolutely agree. I've done
And-
that. I've gone through that. If you want to pull the trigger and you want to buy a furnace, then I'll go get the quotes. If you're not going to do anything, then wait until you want to do something, then I'll get the quotes. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to call these people. They're going to have to come in, evaluate the building. They're going to take time. Then they're going to give us a quote, and we're going to do nothing. Then I'm going to call them again in 9 months and say, hey, can you come back and give me another quote? Selectmen want quotes. Well, I just gave you a quote 9 months ago.
Yeah.
They don't want to do that. We either got to do it or not do it. And that's the problem we ended up having with the library. We got so many quotes for that library that it come to the point where we couldn't even get anybody to come give us a bid on the library. Because we did it so many years in a row.
Right. Well, I mean, you know, the thing is, I just don't want to keep, I mean, we've had people here every weekend for the last 2 weekends, we trying to repair the furnace. We've had electric heaters going all over the building to keep the pipes from freezing.
Sometimes it takes a few times to figure out the problem.
And like I said, you know,
We never really pointed to an exact issue of why the furnace quit. So,
Yeah.
that's my take on it.
I mean, I'm fine. I mean, if you don't want to get, if you guys don't want to move
What you
forward,
guys should do is take a vote on whether you want to move forward with replacing the furnace or not. And that'll clear that up.
I have one question. Where would the money come from if it is replaced?
probably out of the unanticipated.
Okay.
That's what the line is for, anyways, for stuff like this.
That's a biggie. That's a biggie. Where the money's gonna come from.
So I'll make a motion not to go forward with receiving any more quotes for a furnace in town hall at the current time.
I'm gonna, I'm not, I say we move forward getting quotes. You know, we've had to shut the town hall down too because of no heat. So I just say we move forward and get quotes.
I agree with Andrew.
So my motion is to move forward and get quotes.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye.
No.
So move forward and get the quotes. So other than that, I don't have anything else. Public comments. Go ahead, Larry.
I have a 40-year-old American Standard wet base furnace. The firebox has been relined with a wet applied gel. I put in a flame retention burner. I have replaced the circulator pump. I have cleaned the flue a great deal. I have downsized the nozzle. What you don't have, and what you could find out easily, is at this point you should not have to find out, presuming that the insulation stays the same, the size of the building stays the same, and the distribution of heat by air stays the same, that you have to have a 103,000 BTU capacity versus 110,000 BTU capacity. Those things should be rock solid in place. What you don't know is the presumptive efficiency of the new boiler furnace. You don't know whether you're going to have swing door service. You don't know what the cost of service will be. You don't know whether or not you can even switch over to a continuous circulation of your hot air management system. I don't know what the capacities of your setback thermostat systems are. Those are things you can figure out just by writing down a list of questions. And until those questions are answered, and at what cost, ...
Okay, thank you, Larry. Do you have anything else?
Welcome aboard. The planning board loses a good friend.
Okay, thank you, Larry. Anybody else have any public comments? State your name, please.
Thomas McDougall. If the selectmen could arrange to purchase 2 1/4-inch instrument cables about 6 foot long, I think we can wire up the amplifier that's sitting behind you, Andy, to run off the board that's back there, and actually have sound that the audience can hear.
Okay.
I think Gordon Parsons over in Milton Mills probably has them in stock.
Okay.
Or if you know anybody that's a musician.
Banana plug?
No, 1/4-inch. 1/4-inch ring tip sleeve instrument cable, about 6 foot long.
Okay, say it one more time.
That's what I said.
Guitar cable. If you go to Gordon Parsons, tell him you need a guitar cable, 2 of them, about 6 foot long.
Okay.
He'll want to know why you want one so short, but.
You need 2 of those?
Yeah.
2 of those would make this work?
They
All right,
should. Two of them will let us know whether or not we can use the 3 microphones that are in front of the board to adequately pick up your voices to be able to amplify it. That's the unknown, and rather than spend a whole bunch of money buying other stuff, let's see if we can use what we got and make it work. Then we can figure out how to pretty it up.
Okay. All right. We'll look into that. Thank you, Tom. On that?
It's on the Avatar software. You said that you kind of questioned, whether we should go with it or not. And I was wondering what kind of information did you, and especially when we have a new member that had, dealt with them, what kind of information made you guys decide to use them? I guess is what I'm looking at.
Well,
and if you have a question, why would you say okay? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. And if you have a question, then why say okay to it if it's still in question?
Well, I listed off several things that are used in town that use that same software, and also there were several references checked. So.
Okay. Did you get some kind of stats or anything like that? From, maybe other towns that have used it and such?
Several references were checked.
Okay, that's all I want to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, more than several.
More. Well, I'm just thinking of our taxes and stuff. That's the only reason why I'm stating
like
that.
I said when I said that other towns in the same predicament we are in.
Okay.
Switch.
Mm-hmm.
There were several references.
I don't mean to question you. It's just that
no, it's fine.
I just wanted to know.
Anybody else have anything, Chief? No. Betsy, anything at the library going on special that you want to talk about?
Not this week, thank you.
Not this week. All right. Well, that's it on the public comment. Any other business come before the board? Want to make a motion?
Sure, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.